Hitchhiking seems like a good way to get from one place to another, but sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye. Let's take the case of Jeff Jefferson. Jeff had been having unprotected sex all afternoon, and now he has decided to thumb a ride. He had done it a few times before and didn't think it was unusual that the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice fella. Jeff didn't realize that he was riding in the shadow of 8,000 daily deaths. The stranger asked Jeff if he liked to have unprotected sex often, and Jeff told him he had been doing it at least 3 times a day, and swapped partners every other weekend. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they arrived at Jeff's house. When Jeff got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat. He told him he'd see him again because he always drove by his house on the way home. Sure enough, the following day when Jeff was finished with his heterosexual orgy, the stranger was there. He stopped at a drive-thru and treated Jeff to a Coke. During their conversation, he told several bad jokes. Lucky for the stranger, Jeff is easily amused. The next day they went fishing. Jeff hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time. The stranger showed Jeff some pornographic pictures. Jeff knew he shouldn't be interested, but well, he was curious, and he didn't want to look like a pansy muffin, so he looked at them and totally respected the artistry of the models. What Jeff didn't know is that the stranger was sick. Not a sickness that is visible, like smallpox or the flu, but no less dangerous and contagious. You see, the stranger has the AIDS, which can be caught through shaking hands, eye contact, and telekinesis of the mind. The stranger was also a homosexual. Look out, Jeff. All homosexuals demand intimate relationships with members of their own sex. And they have the AIDS, and will give it to you without you even knowing it. By now, Jeff feels a fondness for the stranger, whose name is Rupert. Rupert was generous, and bought Jeff many nice things. He bought him presents, and even gave him money. But payments were expected in return. You see, Jeff had not recognized Rupert's approach soon enough. When Rupert first asked Jeff to go fishing alone, he should have discussed it with his priest or teacher. Finally, Jeff told his neighbor, and they reported it to the authorities. Rupert was arrested and died in the prison shower 1 day later. Jeff was released on probation under the custody of his grandfather. Luckily for Jeff, his grandfather knew how to cure the AIDS. You see, Jeff's grandfather acquired the tears of a gypsy in the war, and everyone knows that gypsy tears and having sex with virgins are the only ways to cure the AIDS. Jeff leaned back while his grandpa put the tears of the gypsy in his eye. Jeff was cured, and he lived cautiously ever after. Remember, kids, the decision is always yours, and your whole future may depend on you making the right one.